Three, two, one. Hey, everybody, love and light. This is Cameron Whitten here, founder and CEO for Brown Hope, and we are so excited. It is July, and we are here for our first Friday of the month, Soul Food Sessions. Soul Food Sessions is an opportunity for us at Brown Hope to reach out to you through the screen, and we are here to commune and to just continue the conversations that we need to have to build a better future, to build a better community, and to inspire healing for all. And so we have three components that are a part of our soul food sessions. First, we start off with our tea, and that's when we talk about current events and politics, having a deep discussion and analysis of racial justice in our community. Second, we have the plate. And the plate is where we talk about updates of things that are happening here in our organization, Brown Hope. And then third, we ended off with the cake. And that is an opportunity for us to talk about a healing strategy that we encourage that you consider as a part of your life and as a part of your well-being. As always, for Soul Food Sessions, we have time for Q&A. So if you have any questions at all, even if it's my favorite color, put it in the chat. We have Ema here in the back who is helping us to coordinate the event. And so we'll have some time for Q&A and we'll get started with the Soul Food Sessions. So first and foremost, let's start with the tea. This is a heavy one, y'all. Just last week, our Supreme Court, which is the highest part of our judicial system in the United States, they made a vote with their conservative supermajority to do back roll on decades of affirmative action policies in the institutions of higher education. So there were two universities and colleges that were challenged during this Supreme Court case. One, you had Harvard, and then two, you had the University of North Carolina. And there was a group called Students for Fair Admissions that submitted a lawsuit that claimed that affirmative action policies were creating racial discrimination. And the Supreme Court voted 6-3 to completely invalidate the affirmative action policies of these two universities, but also creating shockwaves for all universities and colleges across the country, now making it even more difficult to ensure that there's equitable access to higher education, and that higher education can be used as a tool to overcoming the real, clearly documented racial disparities in the United States. And so it's really interesting, some of the arguments that we heard from the Supreme Court. First, we had the Chief Justice, John Roberts, who said, many universities have for too long concluded, wrongly, that the touchstone of an individual identity is not challenges bested, skills built, or lessons learned, but the color of their skin. Our constitutional history does not tolerate that choice. Also, Clarence Thomas, who's the second Black person who was appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, in his statement said, the 1866 Freedmen's Bureau Act then expanded upon the prior year's law, authorizing the Bureau to care for all loyal refugees and freedmen. Importantly, however, the acts applied to freedmen and refugees, a formerly race-neutral category, not Blacks writ large. And because not all Blacks in the United States were former slaves, freedman was decidedly an under-inclusive proxy for race. So that was two of the statements that came from the majority ruling Supreme Court. And the interesting foundation of these arguments are based in this concept of originalization and the idea of trying to interpret what the Constitution meant when it was originally written. And the reason why that perspective is so frustrating, because ask any constitutional expert, ask any historical expert, we actually know what the term freedman meant. Freedman was a term that was literally coined in the aftermath of the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation. And the Freedmen's Bureau was created explicitly to help Blacks in the South who had just been freed. In the US at that time, 90% of Black people in the US had been enslaved. So this whole not all Blacks were slaves is ignorant. And I'll just say that pretty clearly. 90% of Black people before the Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation, 90% were enslaved. The Freedmen's Bureau, which was included in as a constitutional amendment, specifically was designed to correct some of the very horrible and wrong original beliefs of our founding fathers. Because what else did the founding fathers do? Legalize the enslavement of Black people. So this idea that we're going to look back at the Constitution and say, oh, well, actually, when we meant freedmen, it meant people of all race. It is illogical, it's morally unjust, and is extremely cruel. And even as John Roberts said, that college admissions should be about overcoming adversity and overcoming life's challenges, and universities should pick folks who really make a good case for that. Overcoming racism and racial discrimination is a big indicator of overcoming life challenges, because we are living in a country where we can't even acknowledge the true definition of the term freedman. Just 3 years ago, this country had a huge moral awakening after the murder of George Floyd, realizing racial disparities are real. They're still happening now, and they're getting wider in way too many places. So why, 3 years later, where we have an opportunity to use higher education as a vehicle for long-term economic prosperity, as a pipeline for new leadership in every level of our society, why in 2023 are we saying that we're doing too much to try to level the playing field, that we're doing too much to acknowledge racism is real, and to ensure that institutions that are funded by public dollars to a large degree, making sure that they are reflecting the diversity of this country, and they're also helping to right the wrongs of our racist past. It's a very sad day to see our Supreme Court act with such injustice. And we know this is going to have a ripple effect across this nation. Just in California, when they had a statewide ballot measure that rolled back affirmative action for universities and colleges in California, there was a huge drop in the amount of diversity in some of the best and most prestigious schools in California. It's going to happen at Harvard. It's going to happen at University of North Carolina, all because we have some folks who forgot our history and forgot the true definitions of terms in our U.S. Constitution. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, and even I know the definition of freedmen. And so this is some hard tea to drink, y'all. It's my hope that we will still find the courage to advocate for Black, Brown, and Indigenous students to be able to go to the best schools, to be equipped with knowledge, to be surrounded by their peers so that they can excel in school and achieve their wildest dreams. We had a huge step back last week, but I do believe no matter what, we find a way to march forward. So that's the tea for this month. Let's move on to the plate. And now we're going to be talking about all of the updates of the happenings of Brown Hope for the month of June. And a lot happens for Brown Hope in June, because June is the month where we celebrate Juneteenth. And that's a really big deal for us, because our annual campaign for the Black Resilience Fund happens around Juneteenth. We started it off musically this year with our first ever virtual concert called Tiny Hope. And Tiny Hope is going to be happening regularly throughout the year. And it's an opportunity for us to uplift Black, Brown, and Indigenous artists and musicians, and to raise critical funds for our healing justice work. So on June 10th, we featured our first ever Tiny Hope performer, Tahira Memory, Portland born and raised. And she brought her band and performed a 25-minute segment, and also shared that with all of her followers on social media to raise awareness of Black Resilience Fund, to rejoice in the beauty that it is to be Black, and to help us kickstart our fundraising for Black Resilience Fund's annual Juneteenth campaign. And then we did that campaign the following week. We had over 50 small businesses in the Portland metropolitan region. We're talking about retail. We're talking about alcohol and service companies, restaurants, talking about clothing stores, businesses from across the diversity of Portland's industry came together to show how together with grassroots action, we can raise money to support Black Portlanders with immediate financial relief. And so funds from the Juneteenth campaign this year, 100% are going to our pilot project with our village building program and income guarantee. We have 25 Black families in Multnomah County who are receiving up to $2,000 a month for the next 3 years. So shout out to all of our businesses who participated in Juneteenth this year. We also had amazing coverage in Fox 12, local cable news station, where they interviewed myself and one of our business partners, Flutter, which is a boutique store on North Mississippi Avenue. And it was just an amazing opportunity to highlight the incredible work of Black Resilience Fund, to continue to raise awareness on Juneteenth and our need to celebrate liberation and work towards ongoing racial liberation. So please check out our social media, Google the article, watch the news interview, and just help us spread the good words of the work that we're doing. And then finally, we have super exciting news, and that is that Brown Hope is hiring. We are going to be hiring for our community building manager. This is a super important role, and honestly, it's a super fun role. The community building manager is a liaison for community with community members, with community partners, building relationships so that we can be stronger together. This is talking about tabling at events. This is talking about going to groups and speaking. It's going to community fairs and going to block parties and going out to where the community is, getting to know who people are, what their needs are, and how we can work together through Brown Hope for collective healing. Community building manager is also super important because it helps to coordinate our weekly Power Hour event. Power Hour is the first ever event that we threw on for Brown Hope starting in 2018. And it is a safe space for Black, Brown, and Indigenous people to come together, to build relationships, to share their stories, and to heal collectively from racial trauma. So please check out our website. Please check out our job posting ads. The deadline to apply is July 19th. And we expect this position to start soon. And we are so, so excited to see whoever joins our Brown Hope team. So that is our plate for the day. And I want to check in with Ima. Do we have any questions from the audience? Where's the Jeopardy musical when you need it?
Any other events to expect for the rest of this year at Brown Hope?
Yes, there are a lot of events to expect for the rest of this year. The next event that we are asking you to stay tuned for is going to be in September. We're going to be having a community appreciation event called Power Over Poverty. And this is an opportunity for us to invite anyone who is in Brown Hope's orbit, whether that is volunteers, donors, program participants, public officials, or somebody who just heard about us. You are a part of this community, and we want to appreciate you because we know how much work it is to strive for racial justice. And as a community, we want to celebrate your beauty and your worth and the momentum that we're continuing to build together. Power Over Poverty is going to be an amazing event because it's going to be an event of storytelling. We're actually going to be inviting some of our program participants from programs like Solidarity Squad and Black Resilience Fund, Power Hour, and they will be sharing about how they've overcome adversity in their life and how they have found a way to reclaim their power over poverty. So date's not set yet, to be determined, but please stay tuned for that. And then also in November, we're going to be having our annual Dream Wild Dreams Gala. This is another opportunity for us to come together. And Dream Wild Dreams Gala is a fundraising event to raise funds to support Brown Hope and the Black Resilience Fund. We're going to be having that event on November 4th at 6 p.m. at the Village Ballroom in North Portland in the Woodlawn neighborhood. Please check out our website. We have tickets for sale, and we really hope that you come. There will be music, there will be stories, and we'll be there together to heal. So those are two of the events that we have coming up this year. Do you have anything else, Ema? Super awesome. Well, let's close this out with our final segment for Soul Food Sessions, and that is the cake. And the cake is an opportunity to reflect on a healing strategy that you can incorporate into your life so that you can live abundantly and freely. And this one is an interesting one, and it's one that I've been working on a lot in the past month. And this healing strategy is patience. And we've all heard that word all of our lives. And we all know that we could all learn a little of patience here and there. But at Brown Hope, we really tie this concept and this lifestyle of patience with healing, because patience helps you heal. One of the things about trauma is that trauma helps to trigger and initiate some of our most painful emotions. We're talking about fear. We're talking about anger. We're talking about shame and grief. And we know that oftentimes when we get triggered or when conflict happens, our initial reaction is going to be some of our most painful emotions. And we know when we get into those deep emotional states, it clears our vision. I mean, it dirties up our mind, it confuses us, and it impacts our vision. We can't think clearly. We jump to assumptions and conclusions that may not be true or may not be in our best interest. And so our ability to practice patience, and that's a skill. It is a life attribute and a character that we have the power to grow and build over time. And the more patient we become, the more power that we have in any moment to react from a place of peace and inner love, no matter the obstacle that we're facing. I know for myself how powerful patience has been, how it allows you to have the space that you need, because it's a personal space that you have, to just breathe deeply, to be aware of where you are, and to be able to prioritize your safety no matter where you are. So patience is absolutely powerful. And if you want to live a long, fruitful life, you got to be patient. The patient people live long because they learn how to slow down and appreciate all the gifts and miracles life has to offer. And when you are aware of those gifts and miracles, you start to heal. And so I encourage you to find some time in your day, whether that is a meditation, whether that is a mantra, whether that is journaling, whether that is talking to a friend or a loved one. Find a way to center patience in your heart, in your mind, and your body. Find a way to ensure that patience is something that you lead with. Because if you do, you're going to see the fruits of that patience. You're going to be able to see yourself more full, more whole, and more healed. So that is our cake for the day. We covered all of our segments for Soul Food Sessions. As always, we are grateful for folks who tuned in. Please watch this. Please share it. And we hope to see you again in August. That's it for now, y'all. Take care and love and light.